Today I wanted to do a video about anxiety, and it's sort of a video response to Being Belle, her anxiety video, but it's also sort of just a video for me, really. I wanted to discuss my experiences with it and just sort of share my thoughts and feelings, really. So what is anxiety then? I think it's quite difficult to explain anxiety to somebody who's never experienced it. I think the simplest way to convey it would be to imagine you've suddenly and unexpectedly been wrenched out of your comfort zone, triggering a state of sort of instant panic, a hyper self-awareness. Your head races with thoughts. You feel nervous and incredibly exposed. It's like you're sort of standing naked in public, and you just feel so uncomfortable, and your head, it's just so unpleasant. You feel nervous and like I say, incredibly exposed. It's like, I think the standing there naked analogy really, really works, but it's not just the fact that you feel exposed, it's the fact that you feel that everyone else can see and perceive how you're freaking out, I suppose. And it's like you've got all of your insecurities on this massive neon sign, and you just sort of stood there naked with this sign like, hey, check out the insecurities, guys. I'm rocking this sign right here. Just look up all these things that I hate that you can all suddenly see. And I guess it plays on that sort of paranoia as well. And it affects people in different ways. You get that sort of tightening in the chest. A lot of people say that they get that sort of the head sort of swimming with thoughts and things that they're aware of about themselves. And you think everyone walking by is looking at you and judging you and wondering why you're freaking out. It's probably, somebody more intelligent than me, which wouldn't be particularly difficult, would probably tell us that it's in some way connected psychologically to the fight or flight aspect of us from when we're hunter-gatherers or something like that. But it's just a thoroughly unnecessary and unpleasant experience. I think it's important to talk about this sort of thing because there's lots of social anxiety related issues and mental health issues which don't get talked about. And I think it's really, really important that people sort of speak out and talk about these particular things because, I think they're the last taboo in society in a lot of ways, and I think we need to talk about them, we need to discuss them, and we need to really open up a dialogue with everybody. Everyone needs to come together and say, yes, these things exist. Yes, they're thoroughly unpleasant and nobody wants to have them. So let's all talk about them openly and just get it out there. Then we can all express how we feel and we can try and do something about it together, rather than, as I'm sure a lot of us do, dealing with it on our own because we might feel embarrassed, or because we feel there might be an element of shame in admitting that we're not perfect or we're not normal. God forbid anyone would ever want to be normal, but still. This is me attempting to talk about anxiety. One experience that I can really sort of picture quite clearly in my mind is I studied at Bournemouth University, and I remember handing in the last essay, or possibly the last script. I did a script writing for film and TV course at Bournemouth, and it was either the last essay or the last script. And I was walking in with my two housemates at the time, Chris and Dan. Not that you need to know or know who they are, but still, Chris and Dan and me, there we are, walking into uni, papers in hand. Everyone's happy. We walked in through the gates. That's walking in through the gates. And I just remember we were talking about stuff, and I was just walking along with them. And suddenly this anxiety kicked in, and I felt incredibly nervous. And I was walking with two of my best friends at the time, and I just remember sort of zoning out, like I was just walking along with them, sort of in autopilot. But I just remember feeling really freaked out, just sort of nervous, anxious. I guess this whole thing is about anxiety. So yeah, anxious and insular and just paranoid that people were seeing me in a certain way, and I got out of it. But it's the thing about anxiety is that after the initial event, there's sort of like, I don't know, there's not really a word for it that I'm aware of, but sort of, you know how after an earthquake sometimes they have like the little oh god, I'm really forgetting my words today, like an aftershock I think it's called, or an after tremor, like it goes on afterwards, is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, you get the initial event where boom, that's the anxiety, oh, freaking out, all this crap's happening, I feel rubbish. But that feeling of feeling rubbish can persist, and it can persist for hours, it can persist for days, it can persist like for weeks in some cases. Not a continuous state of it, but that initial event, it will sort of deplete over time, but it can affect the rest of your day, it can affect the rest of your week, and it varies depending on the person, but it can have a huge effect on your self-confidence, your self-image, and how you feel. And people keep that inside, they keep that buried inside them. And you ask them how they are, and they'll say, I'm fine. Or they'll, they won't want to worry anyone. But we need to sort of foster this culture of talking about how we feel, but really talking, not just, how are you, I'm fine, oh, okay, they must be fine. Or, if you're worried about them, not tackling it. We need to sort of foster this culture where people understand it's okay to speak out about how you feel. And just sort of admit that their anxiety is being triggered and they're not in their comfort zone. And I'm expressing this really poorly. I'm better at writing than I am at public speaking, even though I'm in a room by myself. And yeah, but you are the public, so I guess that counts as public speaking. I've been ranting and rambling, so I'm just going to stop now. Yeah, so hope you're having a good day, and I doubt this has helped anyone, but if there's one thing to take away from it, be yourself and never be afraid to talk about what's troubling you and what's on your mind. And if your friends are really good friends, you can talk to them about your anxiety, you can talk to them about depression, you can talk to them about mental health issues. Just don't be afraid to talk to people, and don't be afraid to share ideas. And at the end of the day, whatever happens, just be yourself, and eventually everything will come good. Yeah, so take it easy, and thanks for watching.